All right. What's going on, college football world? This is Cocky Talk with Marlin Anderson, and this is episode 18, the cream of the crop. And this is going to be a shorter episode as I'm going to be focusing on the top five teams in the country and their matchups this weekend. And the top five rankings is going to be based off, of course, the college football playoff committee who just dropped their rankings this week. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it, and we're going to start with Clemson at BC. Now, Boston College has been good defensively in a certain area in which they need to, continue that trend on Saturday, and that's in the red zone. So they want any shot at beating the Tigers, they need to force Clemson to kick field goals or keep them out of the end zone so they can give themselves a shot. So they also have been good in getting turnovers and winning the turnover margin. So they don't need to turn the ball over, and they need to try to force some turnovers. And, of course, and for a lot of teams in a lot of situations, that is a goal for a lot of teams, is to try to force turnovers, because that's going to help any team's case on trying to come out with a victory against their opponent. All right. Now, they forced 21 turnovers, very good. They need, of course, to be productive on offense. I would think they need to get vertical. That's the way that you're going to have to open up your running game against Clemson, is that you're going to have to get vertical. And you're going to need to complete passes, and your receivers are going to need to be able to make plays. All right. Now, Boston College has also been good at getting to the quarterback. They're one of the best teams in the country at getting to the quarterback. They have 28 sacks. Of course, Clemson has one of the top defenses too, so they're going to make plays. So Boston College's defense is going to need to make plays. So, but with all that said, BC is going to have to take advantage of every opportunity and some, and play a clean game to come out with a victory. They don't need to commit any penalties. Boston College is going to have to play outside their mind and just play the best game that they've played in a couple of years as a program, in a while, should I say. So playing against this Clemson team. But I think Clemson's going to handle the hostile 40,000 fans that Boston College is going to bring to the table in Chestnut Hill. And so I don't see the upset happening. But hey, you never know. It's college football. Crazy things do happen. But I think the Tigers do come out on top. Now let's get to Bama. Now, Bama's going to be playing a feisty Mississippi State team. This Mississippi State team is 6th in total defense, 18th in rushing defense, and 2nd in scoring defense. Also got the 7th best pass defense. So this Mississippi State team has been good defensively in a lot of areas. But with all that said, Alabama has the number one offense in the country in a lot of areas. And they're going to be at home. So I think that's going to counteract what I just said. And I still think that Bama's going to do what they need to do. They're going to come out with a victory in Bryant-Denny, probably about 38-14, 38-17, and they're going to take care of the Bulldogs. I don't see an upset happening there. Now, this is going to be short because you got Michigan traveling to take on the mighty Rutgers Scarlet Knights in New Jersey. So Michigan's going to beat the brakes off them. And Rutgers is one of the worst offensive teams in the country. Literally, they're probably the worst offensive team in the country. And they're playing against the best defense in the country. Michigan has the best pass defense in the country, and kind of by a good margin. They got the best pass defense. And very efficient in a lot of areas. They get in a combination of getting interceptions, not letting the quarterback complete a high percentage of throws, and not giving up so many yards. So I think Michigan is just gonna rip the Scarlet Knights to shreds and beat them by like 42 on their home field. So I leave it at that. Florida State at Notre Dame. That sounds like it should be a prime time affair. But you know what? It's not. Because Florida State is terrible in a lot of areas. including offense. They're one of the worst teams in the nation moving the football. I just don't see how Florida State's going to compete. Possession to possession, moving the ball up and down the field. The only way that Florida State is going to beat Notre Dame and South Bend is they're going to have to get turnovers. They're going to have to. Notre Dame is going to have to make mistakes. Other than that, I see Notre Dame winning by 24, 21. Florida State's just bad offensively. Only thing they're good at is probably stopping the run. They got a good rushing defense, but who cares? Because they got one of the worst. They got one of the worst passing defenses. So, Florida State's just a bad football team, and I don't see them getting any better this weekend in South Bend. So Notre Dame, I see a victory there. So I don't see any top 5 teams losing as of yet. Now let's get to this last matchup I want to talk about, being Auburn. They're going to the Hedges to take on their cross-divisional rivals, Georgia and Athens, and who they play every year. So who's going to, how do I see this rivalry? I see Georgia winning. Auburn hasn't been that good offensively. They've been decent in some areas on defense. But let's just be honest, I don't think Auburn is that good. They lost to Tennessee at home. You lose, we almost lost to Tennessee at home. Well, we didn't. So, but the reason why, everybody thought Auburn would be in a better position and be able to be one of those teams that challenge Alabama, but that hasn't been the case. But I think Georgia is able to exploit Auburn on both sides of the ball. They're going to be able. I think they can exploit Auburn in the passing game. Georgia has a lot of good receivers, a lot of good fast receivers who runs really good routes and can get open. And I think that Georgia's going to have a big day through the air on the Auburn Tigers, and I think they're going to win by 21 in Athens. So that's what I think is going to happen. If you're a fan of some of the teams that I'm talking about that you didn't like, it's just my opinion based on these numbers that I crunched and regarding these teams. But yeah, man, this is Cocky Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Cocky Talk with Marlin Anderson. All right, and I'll holler at y'all later. And y'all be good.